Viva Africa!
Viva!
Viva Kenya!
Viva!
Viva Africa!
Viva!
Someone said that people are annoyed in this room. I'd like to say that I've never seen a fighter who smiles when he's in the ring. So congratulate yourselves, because it seems the trick has worked, you've been provoked, you feel annoyed, and therefore you'll be able to deliberate on these very important matters. It means that you are partly rekindled. Rekindling in the spirit means you can think about these matters of concern with a better consciousness, and more so importantly, in a positive way. Some comrades said that there is a lot of semantics going on. Indeed, we have downgraded the idea of Pan-Africanism into our cheap local politics of just luring people into sloganeering on the streets, and we forget the most important thing and aspect of life. I put down a simple speech for purposes of record. I wouldn't want someone to change what I say, because whichever thing we do today, you remember those meetings which are being talked about in Manchester and everywhere. Some of them were not really big as this one is. But because someone took care of that history part, today they are a point of reference as we strive for our own agenda today. So I congratulate you all for having managed to turn up in this big number. It's my first time to make such a speech in Kenya. So to me, it's historical, and I guess even in the near future, as things get much serious, it will be one that will be remembered. I thank the comrades for organizing this. It has taken a very short time. It's not always easy to put up such a thing, such a conference, especially with the existing challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. I know it's not easy to cross over borders. Personally, one time I got annoyed. I wanted to stage a kind of demonstration at the border. But one of my comrades told me that, comrade, you don't need to bother with that. The truth is, we lost the war a long time ago, when our traditional leaders were overthrown and our lands were taken and demarcated, and we were put at some positions. So whatever we are seeing today is as a result of the defeat, and therefore we need to act consciously and wise so that we can redeem ourselves, with not intentions of defeating the enemy, because the enemy is like that bad demon or ghost invisible. Sometimes people get lost by thinking that the enemy is dressed in a white skin. The enemy is within us, among ourselves. Even me personally speaking here, I can be an enemy of progress of Pan-Africanism. So allow me therefore to try to verbatimly read this historical speech according to me, and I hope that after this we'll have a better understanding of the stand of Pan-Africanism, especially in regards with the Global Secretariat and our position to the rest of Africa. The chief guest, I understand he has not yet joined us, but in that same regard, I recognize his presence. The senators, county representatives of this country, the representatives of foreign missions, my senior comrade Evans from the Ugandan High Commission, the political leaders, members of civil society, my comrades from the National Congress of South Sudan, I'm very much impressed having you amidst us, Comrade Mabior Garan, the Mabior. I'm happy that I'm privileged to speak before all of you. Academicians present, professor and other comrades around, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all this afternoon, and I send you warm salutations from the Global Pan-African Movement Secretariat in Kampala and the National Chapter of Uganda, and the people of Uganda as well at large. And my family, my beloved fiancée, she also sends warm greetings. Yeah, when I was leaving, she was very happy and said, "You go make it." So all this energy you are seeing is partly coming from the lovely lady. Thank you so much. Having said that, my name is Newton Balezi, and I stay in Kampala. That's where I boarded the newest airline company, Uganda Airlines, with the newest aircrafts. But I didn't find the Rolex on it. I would have brought you some peace to come to Nairobi. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Allow me, on behalf of the Global Secretariat and the National Chapter of Uganda, to express my profound gratitude to the people of Kenya, and to be specific, the comrades at the helm of the Pan-African Congress of Kenya, Brother Tulu Alfred, the chairman for the chapter, the colleagues he worked with, Comrade Sim Bolando, whom we always discuss almost every day, the strong lady, Winnie Ogweno Auma. Yes, she's right there at the back. I hope you will stand to the true life of Winnie Mandela. It's a great challenge ahead, but I pray for you. The chairman, the chairman for the National Organizing Committee of this event, Comrade Manyara Gitobu, Tom Alira, Chris Odiambo, and others. You have indeed done a great job. God bless. It is by no coincidence that this campaign, I call it a campaign because we are just starting to rekindle, is being launched this time when the continent is engulfed in a series of wars and unprecedented other kinds of conflicts, not only with the physical violence, but also in the mindset, which breed all the inconsistencies which we experience today. I would have defined all this, but I'm not the one who is giving the keynote address of this function, so I'll just try to match it. However, there are also a number of opportunities which are springing up daily for the benefit of realizing the intended Renaissance goals of the entire continent. As you may be aware, at the continental level, African Union set up a deadline for achieving the Renaissance in Africa. One can easily mention the progress of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the East African Community's recent admission process of the Democratic Republic of Congo into the East African Community Framework, the growing cooperation for sustainable peace in the region, and of course, the operationalization of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. I take that still as a progress in as far as our struggle is concerned, save for the other issues surrounding it. The Global Secretariat, for those who may not be aware, previously held an East African Pan-African Congress in Nairobi at the KICC in 2015. That meeting was addressed by the President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and it was attended by members of all the national chapters in the region. And these included Uganda, Kenya, of course, the host, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, South Sudan, Sudan, and Ethiopia, and other members. We are still grateful for the Kenyan government, especially with its support towards that previous conference. Therefore, today's conference brings hope that Kenya has just realized its role in the world of Pan-Africanism. And that I mean integration of African countries and uniting of the people towards the true liberation of Africa. Rekindling of Pan-Africanism, in its sense, means strategically mobilizing African people in Kenya and other places in the world to make contributions towards a secure Africa. It means everyone can define and apply the concept of Pan-Africanism within his or her area of expertise, no matter the occupation. It means being innovative, raising standards of education, standards of operations, productivity, perfectionism, trustworthiness, access to quality education, preservation and building of legacies, good health, and the list can be endless. In other words, Pan-Africanism should form the conversations surrounding all major events, be political, economic, or social, that may happen in any part of the country. What we are rekindling today, comrades, has to be trickled in the neighboring states, with the emphasis to the community levels. And here, Kenya needs to play a major role, considering its geoposition. Economic development, cultural diversity, stability and influence. I heard someone here saying that the tribe of Luo, I didn't know that, but I'm open to learning, because we have many tribes, Luo tribes in Uganda, but I just got to know that the tribe of Luo originates in Kenya, and the rest are just branches maybe. In good faith, by the way. I wish if we took maybe the same stand in Uganda, it would be a step towards uniting from smaller tribes to a bigger component of Luo. It's all a part of the conversations as we rekindle the works in the movement. Therefore, if you may recall, one of the drivers of Africa's independence movement was for Africans to have governments which are being led by our own people, sons and daughters. Therefore, having achieved this, for the next phase of liberation to succeed, it's the responsibility of the African government in Kenya to take center stage and fully support the agenda of Pan-Africanism in the country. And so should other countries elsewhere. To throw a little bit on this point, our first struggles were to get leaders to be able to manage our own affairs, which we did regardless of the mistakes and challenges we faced. Now, we must own, because some people still believe that these governments are not representing us. So the governments must take initiative and gain the trust of the people and accept that whichever thing they do must be in line with the aims and objectives of Pan-Africanism. That's when the struggle can be meaningful, and as a people we manage to attain the intended goals. After the break of COVID-19, pandemic. A world reset, I have to repeat, a world reset, we are under a reset, is inevitable. And the only solution for the survival of normal Africans, not you. You are intellectuals. You can even social distance. I was asking a comrade earlier on, he was telling me, I saw the signs, distance. I said, but did people in the matatus distance? So, you are not normal. But to a normal person, a normal Kenyan, a normal Ugandan, a normal Zimbabwean or Algerian or Moroccan for that matter, the only solution of their survival lies within the progress of Pan-Africanism ideas. Let's therefore mobilize ourselves to strategize towards Africa's positive, progressive future. In that same regard, we call for good conduct as the Pan-African movement. In the forthcoming elections, you know very well that without peace, all that we are planning from today, even those aspiring to become leaders, can be in vain. Let us avoid turmoil. Let us try to prevent ourselves from being overtaken by the greed of power. Let us know that being in leadership positions is just a responsibility and an opportunity to serve humanity well in our best way, in the best way we can and afford according to what God gives us. Let us not be much emotional as if the world is ending tomorrow. It is just a cycle that today we get a leader, whether good or bad, but Kenya will not go away. Whether we get a good one or a bad one, Kenya will stay. One time I asked a Nigerian friend that how come they were not protesting when the wave was going on in most of the North African countries. And he said that for us we know that everyone is a thief, all leaders are thieves, but one point why we are not protesting is that you cannot exploit Nigeria and take away everything. You steal, you get full, just like a greedy son or daughter. After getting full, you even don't know where to put this wealth you've accumulated. You will go, your life will expire and die. The country goes on. So why do we spoil whichever thing we have? In Uganda, we learned a lesson. Sometimes this history is bad, but it shapes us. Ever since independence, we fought each other and we destroyed each other. And that's when Kenya actually left us in terms of economic development. I'm not so sure about the socio-economic development. And some Kenyans don't know. They think that Uganda and Kenya have always been at the same footing. Forgetting that one went under dungeons to fight each other, to peck and all that, while the other one was developing, exploiting the market, the scarcity of products in Kampala and all that, while Ugandans were hiding and running and killing each other. So from that experience, I always advise some people who think that war is like a game. War is not a game. Nobody wins. Everyone loses. By becoming a victor doesn't mean that you have gained anything. You've lost. It's only that the one who loses more people is the one who loses the war. And the one who comes out victor has lost maybe less people. But still you both lost lives. And there is nothing you can compare in terms of commodity to human life. So let us trade consciously as we head towards these elections. We will still have chances. Once again, allow me to commend the organizers of this meeting, the government of Kenya. I know it's aware, and that's why the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly accepted to be part of the meeting. And all the gallant Pan-Africans present today for being able to stand firm as we launch the rekindling of Pan-Africanism in this land and probably across the continent and in our diasporan communities in America and Europe. In conclusion, of course, this is a bit administrative. The Secretariat expects reports from national chapters, and these reports come from such events and more. I pray that we manage to pull off a good display as we head forward. We promise to continue in cooperation with the Pan-African Congress of Kenya, as well as the people of Kenya, in seeing that we both live a decent and a dignified life as Africans. I thank you so much once again for the welcome as people of Kenya, and I pray that God will guide us through this new chapter as we rekindle the spirit of Pan-Africanism. I thank you. God bless.